This lesson will be focusing on the basic knowledge of web application with Java. We will start with simple HTML as front end and work with the business process. Then we will extend the example to database to deal with persistent data. In dealing with web application, we need to understand the dynamicity of a web content. This topic is dealing with that. There are two types of web content, which are static and dynamic. Static web content display the same content each time request is made to the same page, whereas dynamic is the opposite of static. Websites, such as the faculty websites, university or company websites, are some examples for static web content. Let's see how static web content is processed. Web pages are created using HTML. The pages are files with extension of .html. The pages are stored in the web server host using host machine file system. A request is made from the user side to retrieve the HTML files. A user will type the URL for the file from a web browser. The browser contacts the web server and requests the file. The web server finds the file and returns it to the browser. The browser displays the file to the user. That is the process of static web content. Just now we have seen the generation of static web content. Dynamic web content is a web page where its content changes at every request made by the user. Page that displays stock codes, updated whenever a trade takes place, and a page that displays balance in customer bank account after a transaction takes place are some examples of dynamic web content. Now, we will see how dynamic web content is processed. Web server hosts the most important component in the web application. Besides web server, application server is needed to generate dynamic web content. The application server will host the business logic of the enterprise. It is common for an application server to talk to a database server because the business logic need to deal with persistent data. The application server is responsible to the dynamicity of the web content. When a request made from a web server, it will be sent to the web server for further processing. In this example, additional information, which is ID 453, is added at the end of the URL. When the request reaches the web server, a special program will be invoked in the application server. Specifically, the business logic will process the information related to ID 453 and interacts with the database server. When the business logic has finished, it will return the result to the processing to the web server. A special program will generate a new page to produce a customized request. Then it will be sent back to the user.